Hello, little friends. April brings gentle rain and kind hearts to share. Now the magical storybook opens by itself with a warm golden glow. Tonight we will share a gentle tale about kindness and helping friends in need. Outside, the gentle spring rain is falling softly on the forest path tonight. Now the magical golden light will carry us into a beautiful spring story. Here comes Rye, a big gentle bear who loves to help his friends every day. And here is Bip, a tiny rabbit full of energy and always ready to help. Rye and Bip believe that no one is too small to help others in need. Rye always nods because he knows kindness makes every day brighter. Now let us gently step into the whispering forest where our story begins. Little Pingu is walking carefully along the wet path after the spring rain. Pingu is pulling his wooden cart full of sweet spring berries home. The cart is heavy, but Pingu keeps trying with all his little strength. Suddenly, a deep, muddy puddle appears right in front of Pingu's cart. Pingu feels worried because the heavy rain turned the path into deep, sticky mud. The heavy wheel sinks deep into the thick, sticky mud and will not move. The sweet red berries shake and wobble inside the wooden cart. Pingu tries his best to push the heavy cart, but it will not move. Little Pingu uses his soft wings to push the cart with all his might. The wheel stays completely stuck deep in the thick mud. Poor little Pingu is tired and needs to rest against the cart. Pingu takes a slow, deep breath to rest beside the stuck cart. Pingu looks around, hoping someone kind will come to help him. Little Pingu stands all alone beside the cart stuck in the mud. Gentle spring leaves drift down and land softly on the muddy path. From far away comes Blue the squirrel with his big fluffy tail. Blue's big fluffy tail waves busily as he hops along the path. Pingu sees Blue and his eyes light up with sudden hope. Pingu calls out loudly, hoping Blue will stop and help push the cart. Blue stops right at the edge of the deep, muddy puddle. Blue looks carefully at the cart stuck deep in the thick mud. Blue hesitates because he does not want to get his fluffy fur dirty. Blue shakes his head and says he is too busy to help right now. Blue turns around and hops quickly away down the path. Pingu feels very sad watching Blue disappear down the forest path. Rye and Bip walk calmly toward the muddy puddle where Pingu is waiting. Bip hops happily beside Rye as they approach the stuck cart. Rye stops gently at the edge and looks at the deep, muddy puddle. Rye points softly and shows Bip that Pingu needs their help. Bip perks up her long ears and listens carefully to Rye. Bip jumps excitedly toward the stuck cart to help Pingu push it out. Bip tells Pingu not to worry because Rye and Bip will help push the cart. Pingu feels so happy when he sees that Rye and Bip have come to help. Pingu thanks Rye and Bip with all his heart for coming to help him. Rye bravely steps into the deep mud without worrying about getting dirty. Rye bravely steps into the deep mud to help push the heavy cart. Bip jumps excitedly toward the stuck cart to help Pingu push it. Rye gently places his large, soft paws on the back of the cart. Rye leans his broad chest against the cart and prepares to push. Rye calmly explains that he will push while Bip pulls from the front. Rye gently encourages Pingu to hold the rope tightly and pull. Bip moves quickly to the front of the cart and grabs the rope. Pingu moves beside Bip and gets ready to pull the rope together. Pingu bites the rope firmly with his beak right next to Bip. Rye, Bip, and Pingu are now in position ready to push and pull. Bip braces her strong legs firmly on the ground to prepare to pull. Pingu braces his little legs firmly to get ready to pull hard. The rope becomes tight as everyone prepares to push and pull together. Rye takes a deep breath and gets ready to push with full strength. Rye begins counting slowly so they can push and pull at the same time. Bip braces her strong legs firmly on the ground to prepare to pull hard. Pingu braces his little legs firmly to get ready to pull with all his strength. The rope becomes tight as everyone prepares to push and pull together. Rye places his large, soft paws on the back of the cart to prepare to push. Rye leans his broad chest gently against the cart and gets ready to push. Rye prepares to push with full gentle strength while Bip and Pingu hold the rope. Rye, Bip, and Pingu are now completely ready to push and pull the cart together. Rye gives the final gentle command so they can all move at the same time. The three friends take one deep breath together before they begin. Rye begins counting slowly so everyone pushes and pulls at the exact same moment. Rye pushes from behind while Bip and Pingu pull the rope with all their strength. Rye pushes with one final gentle but powerful effort from behind the cart. The heavy wheel slowly turns and begins to rise out of the thick, sticky mud. The wooden cart slowly slides forward and leaves the deep, muddy puddle behind. A few bright red berries tumble out of the cart and fall onto the soft grass. Rye pushes with one final gentle but powerful effort from behind the cart. The heavy wheel slowly turns and begins to rise out of the thick mud. The wooden cart slowly slides forward and leaves the deep, muddy puddle behind. A few bright red berries tumble out of the cart and fall onto the soft grass. Rye gently stops pushing and relaxes after the cart is safely free. Bip happily releases the rope from her mouth after the hard work. Pingu releases the rope from his beak and feels very relieved. Bip jumps up and down with joy because the cart is finally free. Small pieces of mud fall gently from Rye's fluffy white fur onto the grass. Pingu feels so happy because the cart is free and he can go home. Pingu notices that some berries have fallen out during the rescue. Pingu points sadly at the berries that fell from the cart. Pingu notices that some berries have fallen out during the rescue. Pingu points sadly at the berries that fell from the cart. Rye looks at the fallen berries and understands Pingu's worry. Rye gently bends down to pick up the fallen berries with care. Bip watches with a happy smile as Rye picks up the berries. Suddenly, Blue appears from far away with his big fluffy tail. Blue stops shyly right in front of Rye and looks up. Blue had been hiding and watching everything from behind a tree. Blue feels sad and regrets that he did not help earlier. Blue is back and stands shyly in front of Rye and Pingu. Blue shyly asks if he can help pick up the fallen berries. Rye smiles gently and steps aside to let Blue help. Bip waves her ears happily and encourages Blue to join. Blue carefully picks up a bright red berry with his paws. Blue lifts the berry to his chest, feeling proud and happy. Suddenly, a blue shadow with a big fluffy tail appears from far away and hops closer. Blue stops right in front of Rye and looks up with a shy and regretful expression. Blue had been hiding behind a tree, watching everything that happened. Blue feels sad and regrets that he did not stay to help his friends earlier. Blue is back in the present and stands shyly in front of Rye and Pingu. Blue shyly asks if he can help pick up the berries that fell from the cart. Rye smiles gently and steps aside to let Blue help pick up the berries. Bip waves her ears happily and encourages Blue to pick up the berries. Pingu gets ready to pull the cart again now that it is safe and full once more. The cart starts moving forward again as Pingu pulls it safely down the path. Pingu pulls the cart forward again as his friends watch with happy smiles. Rye waves goodbye gently as Pingu continues his journey home with the cart. Bip waves her long ears happily to say goodbye to Pingu and his cart. Blue waves his big fluffy tail to say goodbye to Pingu as the cart moves away. The cart slowly disappears down the path as Pingu continues his journey home. The forest becomes quiet and peaceful once more after helping their friend. The story gently fades back to the cozy library where Arrow is waiting. Arrow smiles softly as the magical story comes to a gentle end. Arrow gently closes the book and holds it close to his heart. The end. Sweet dreams, little friends. Good night. Arrow blows out the candle and the room becomes softly dark and peaceful. Now it is time for you to close your eyes and have sweet dreams too. The soft blanket rises and falls with each peaceful breath as you fall asleep. Sweet dreams and good night. See you in the next bedtime story. Good night, little one. Sleep tight and dream of kind friends and adventures.